Good evening and welcome to OUnightly. I'm Whitney Ortega.
And I'm Justin Goff. It's Tuesday, November 16th, and tonight the OU Undergraduate Student Congress will vote on whether or not to condemn the state's new ban on international and Sharia law. The bill's author, International Area Studies senior Shayna Deitch, says the ban is from a poorly written bill. It negatively affects OU's ability to attract international students and also hinders Oklahoma's ability to compete economically with other states and countries. If passed, the bill will then be considered by the Graduate Student Senate. Now, there's been a great deal of interest in head injuries, both in professional as well as amateur sports, and now Oklahoma lawmakers are working hard to keep student athletes safe. OUnightly's Trey Perry tells us what this means for youth sports teams. And a bald eagle is recuperating after taking a hit late last week. The bird suffered injuries to his head, wing, and leg after being struck by a semi-truck. He is recovering at Wild Care Foundation in Noble. While thousands of animals come to Wild Care, this species is special.
It's always awesome to be able to help a bald eagle. It's our national symbol, and their numbers have been in decline and slowly recovering. So this is one more animal that hopefully we'll be able to release back out into the wild and let him take his place and be free again.
After undergoing several operations, he needs to rest and allow his injuries to heal. The eagle is expected to be released in the spring.
Well, yesterday it was cold. Now it's a little bit warmer.
Yeah, I wish the weather would go ahead and make up its mind. Shelby, you want to tell us a little bit more?
The weather never makes up its mind. That's my favorite part about it. But right now here in Norman, it is 60 degrees.
And a security guard at Oklahoma City Golf and Country Club has been arrested on a peeping Tom complaint. Police say 26-year-old Brian Keith Beatty was caught looking into a woman's bathroom and dressing area at the club. He was arrested and is currently being held in the Nichols Hills jail. And students may not want to hear about potential tuition increase, but they are getting good news about the job market in Oklahoma. Newsweek just named Oklahoma City one of the top 10 places in America poised for recovery. The steadily growing aerospace and energy sectors are ranked among the best job markets for young people in Oklahoma. And as some students returned to their apartments last night, they noticed that the sky wasn't the only thing that was dark. Portions of Tradition Square East were without power for almost 8 hours after an underground power line malfunctioned. Students were informed by staff members about the incident, and the clubhouse stayed open until 2 a.m. to accommodate students needing air conditioning and electricity. OUnightly's Leslie Metzger talked to students about their experiences. Two industrial giants are offering a Go Green option. PepsiCo and Waste Management have teamed up to entice people to recycle bottles and cans. It's a reverse vending machine called the Dream Machine. It can be found at 2 of the 3 local Homeland stores.
Anytime you recycle, you use your card, so all the credit goes to you. And you accumulate points with what you recycle, and you can go to a website, and there's prizes that they offer with a certain number of points that you can turn in.
Instead of trading your recycling in for prizes, the money can be donated to a charity of your choice. We spoke to OU Recycling, and at this time, they are not looking into bringing the machine to campus.
Well, between fundraisers, speakers, and events, there's plenty going on campus this week.
We're joined here today by Chin Doan, who's here with a look at a few of the different events going on. How you doing, Chin?
I'm doing great,
Good.
Thank you. And there are a lot of things going on this week.
Okay, before we head out, we want to wish Oklahoma a happy 103rd birthday. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, about 103 years.
Thanks for watching OUnightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you right back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.
It's spring in Oklahoma, which means it's time for the annual Red-White game. Around mid-April every year, the Sooners take Owen Field again to give fans a preview of next season. And as fate would have it, rain poured down throughout the day's events, forcing some to seek drier conditions to watch the game. But for a number of fans, the rain wasn't even a factor to them.
Oh, I'm here. My girlfriend's singing the national anthem today, and just kind of want to see how the team's going to be this year. The rain doesn't really bother me. I mean, it's a little cold out. Wish I had a jacket, but other than that, I mean, they play in the rain in the fall, so why not be here in the spring?
These aren't your typical sports fans. For many, OU football is more than just the game.
I am a big-time Oklahoma Sooner fan. I'm trying to raise my kids right, to make them be Oklahoma Sooner fans.
This is loyal Sooner fans right here. So I hope they do a lot better than last year. So, you know, I think they're looking good pretty right now, but we'll see when the season begins. So.
Russell English, former OU receiver, returned to Norman, but this time as a spectator. He's excited to see how the team looks since he graduated.
We actually walked on here and wanted to see the team and see some improvement from last year and see the new guys, see how Landry and hopefully the O-line's much improved from last year, and just wanted to get back to Norman too. It had been a while since I've been here. So, well, I live in Fort Worth now, and I drove all this way. I figured I'm not going to just drive up here and then not go to the game, so I think it's worth it. I don't know, ask me in another 30 minutes, maybe I won't say the same thing, but.
Well, we have a big road game this weekend.
We do. Let's hope we have better luck on the road than we have the rest of the season. Justin Goff has more with sports. Justin?
That's right, ladies. As we've reported all year, the OU football team has always had a little bit of trouble picking up wins on the road. But this week in Waco and next weekend's matchup in Stillwater will be huge chances for the Sooners to win out and possibly make a run for that Big 12 championship. Now, historically, the Sooners haven't had trouble against Baylor, but with Robert Griffin behind center, there might be cause for concern. Head coach Bob Stoops addressed their current streak against the Bears in classic fashion. He told reporters his team isn't worried about the past, they're worried about the here and now.
Going to Baylor, hey, in the end, whatever's happened in the past, we got to go play this year. So that's why everyone brings up all these other years. They don't matter. This year's always a new season. You got to go play, and we're anxious to go down and hopefully play well.
Kickoff in Waco is set for 7:05 p.m. And even with junior hitter Susie Bolofsky's match-high 15 kills, the Sooner volleyball team was just no match for the 5th-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. The ladies were able to keep the first two matches pretty close, only losing by scores of 25-23 and 25-22. The last set, however, wasn't quite like that, just as the Huskers closed out with a 25-14 win. That loss puts the Sooners at 19-9 overall and 11-6 in Big 12 play. Their next matchup is set for here in Norman on Saturday against Kansas State. First serve is set for 3 p.m. And after an exciting overtime victory against North Carolina Central, Coach Jeff Capel and the rest of the Sooner men's basketball team takes on Texas Southern tonight. Sophomore Andrew Fitzgerald went 8 for 17 from the floor against the Eagles and is looking to improve his numbers against the Tigers. Lone senior Cade Davis has been a little off in his shooting over the past 2 games. Davis went 2 for 6 behind the arc on Monday. Head coach Jeff Capel said that he still has faith in his senior captain's shooting.
Cade hasn't shot it well for us yet this year, even in the exhibition game. And Steve has shot, he shot the ball well. But when those guys shoot the ball, I have confidence in them.
Action starts tonight at 7 p.m. at the Lloyd Noble Center. And finally, in NBA news, the Thunder took on the Houston Rockets last night, and boy, did they roll. 6 Thunder players scored in the double digits, including standouts Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, who scored 21 and 24 points respectively. Houston's Luis Scola kept the Rockets within reach, but once he left the game, all bets were off. The Thunder would go on to win 116-99. Next up, the Thunder head up to Boston to take on Kevin Garnett and the rest of the Big Three. Hello again, everyone. This is Justin Goff with your Thursday sports update. Now, if you missed the Thunder game last night against the Nets, you definitely missed a doozy. Granted, the Thunder probably shouldn't have gone to 3 overtimes against New Jersey, but that just goes to show how important Kevin Durant is. Last night, Durant was sidelined with a sprained knee, so it was up to Russell Westbrook to carry his team. And carry them he did. Westbrook finished the night with 39 points, 15 boards, and 9 assists in just under 48 minutes of play. The 123-120 win puts the Thunder at 13-6 on the season. Next up is a trip to Toronto to take on the Raptors. And Wednesday's matchup against Arkansas was the first of 2 straight road games for the Sooner men's basketball team, and it wasn't quite what they were expecting. OU wasn't able to pick up the W in Fayetteville, losing by a score of 84-74, their 4th straight loss of the year. Sophomore Andrew Fitzgerald finished with 18 points and snagged a career-high 13 rebounds. Senior captain Cade Davis shot 50% from three-point land and managed to pick up 4 boards. The Sooners were hoping to bounce back from an 0-3 performance at the Maui Invitational, but it looks like they'll have to wait until Sunday when they take on Arizona in Tucson. Over on the women's side, Sherry Cole and the rest of the Lady Sooners dealt a serious beatdown to Sam Houston State. Freshman Morgan Hook led her fellow newbies with a 25-point performance in the Sooners' 94-45 win over the Bearcats. Danielle Robinson was close behind with 17 points on the night. Coach Cole said she's extremely proud of all of her freshmen, and they'll keep up that stellar play when they head up to Columbus, Ohio to take on the Buckeyes. And finally, the OU football team will face longtime rival Nebraska in the last Big 12 championship game. After this season, the Cornhuskers will be joining the Big 10 Conference. This year's matchup will be exciting for several reasons, but what I'm most interested to see is how Sooner quarterback Landry Jones will fare against the black-shirt defense of Nebraska. Last year, Jones threw 5 interceptions against Nebraska's secondary, but this year, Jones seems to be a new man. Senior defensive back Quentin Carter commented on Jones's progress since this time last year.
Just starting off, he's been way more vocal. Just with the offensive guys, getting them fired up, demanding the top play from those guys, and just us seeing that on defense, it kind of motivates us to play our best game too. I mean, you know, he makes mistakes like everybody does, but he always bounces back and he finishes strong.
The final installment of the Big 12 Championship will be played at the new Cowboy Stadium Saturday night at 7 p.m. Well, that's about it. That's about all I have for sports. We'll have another look at your 5-day when we return. Stick around.